Are you threading beauty into your relationships? Now just sit with that for a minute. Like feel into that in your body. Are you threading beauty into your relationships? Are you threading beauty into your life? I recently read on Instagram, beauty is not luxury, beauty is medicine. And I felt that in my whole being. Hello and welcome to your OK Academy of Healing, Expanding, Spiritually Transforming, and Mastering Energetics. I am your host, Your OK. Leadership mentor, nervous system genius, spiritual teacher, clinically trained therapist, and all around energetic sorceress, which really just means I am a master of energetics. And energy creates your life. So if you are not a master of energetics, then you are leaking energy all over the place. And we literally all are. So you're not exempt from it. If you think you're exempt for it, you think you're like, oh, I'm going to read a few things, I'm going to journal a little bit, I'm going to, run through my life as is, or maybe making little improvements. Sure, you might feel better. Your life might look better. And there will still be all this unconscious, sneaky BS that you are doing because we literally are conditioned to do unconscious, sneaky BS. You have to look at society and look at the way it's conditioned, and you are not the exception. I was raised off the grid and I'm still not the exception. There's so much deconditioning I have had to do and still continue having to do. So there's my little riff on energy. Let's get back to, are you weaving beauty into relationships? Like, just sit with that for a second. When I read beauty is not a luxury, beauty is medicine, my whole being felt that. And I started to think about relationships because the portal, which is my 6 or 12 month group mentorship program, the theme is relationships reimagined because I do relationships differently. And as I was sitting with this idea of beauty and bringing it into our lives and it being medicine, and I started to think about relationships, and we have so much contraction around relationships, right? We have so much bitterness, so much resentment, so much they didn't do this, so much projection, so much blame, so much grasping on and holding on, like gripping tight. And we're busy. Everyone is busy. Collectively as a whole, we're fucking busy. We could really slow down a bit. Oh, hi, Stinker. This is Tinkerbell. She wants to eat the flowers because she likes to eat beauty. That's what she likes to do. Okay. One of the reasons I started my business was to help people to feel safe in your body. You have to feel safe in your body to connect, be seen, expand, and just be and receive. Just be, which means just be all of you. And we are fucking busy. We're wound up. Our nervous systems are dysregulated. We're running through fight or flight, and then we're collapsing into dorsal, and we're binging TV, and we're scrolling on our phones, and we're pretending that that's connection with our families. How many of you can sit around the room and every human in your household is on their phone? And if you live alone, are you on your phone? How are you threading beauty into your life, into your relationships with your cat, with your flowers? And then with your partner, with your kids, with your friends, with the people in your life, are you actually creating real intimacy? Because beauty and intimacy are interrelated. So we're not taught how to thread beauty into our relationships. What would it look like to thread beauty into your relationship? It would look like giving without expecting to receive. It would look like, if you're an overgiver, pulling back and allowing your partner the chance to come forward. This is something I so often see with my women clients. They're controlling, they're nitpicking, they're nagging, they're wanting it done a certain way, and they're like, well, he's not going to do it right. Are you giving him a chance to? Or are you just micromanaging him constantly and he's never going to do it the way you want him to do it? And then is your need to have it done a certain way, is that coming from a trauma response or is it coming from authenticity? And you have to be able to get really honest about it. Is it coming from a trauma response or is it coming from authenticity? What lands true in your body? What is true for you? Just sit with that for a second, because so often we are like nitpicking on each other, or we're resentful of each other, or we're controlling each other, or we're terrified, or we're in a relationship for attachment rather than connection. Like, are you in a relationship that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel connected? And yes, if you've been together a long time, there may be some resentments to work out, some shifting to do, some patternings to rearrange. but does this person make you feel alive? In your friendships, are you just hanging out with people just because they're there, or do they make you feel alive? Do you have real intimacy? Do you communicate with your friends when you feel a certain way, or do you just hide and contract and feel pissed off and not say anything? Now, this is tricky because there's a time to say something and there's a time to not. And learning to discern between those two things will ask you to process your trauma so that you're not coming through the lens of your trauma, rewire your nervous system, and be able to sink into your divine inner knowings, into your intuition of when to lean back and when to communicate. You might be thinking, Yara, what does this have to do with beauty? Well, all of this is beauty. Because if you're just running through your life in survival mode, and you're activated, you're in fight or flight, you're rushing, you're doing all the things, and then you're collapsing into dorsal and you're just binging TV, you're not actually creating real intimacy, which means you're not creating beauty in your life. Like, just sit with what beauty feels like. It calms your nervous system. It feels good in your body. It allows you to feel expansive and connected and juicy and free. You don't feel connected, juicy, and free when you're contracted and you're bitter and you're projecting and you're blaming and you're fighting and you're feeling misunderstood. Beauty is when you have the ability to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Can we talk about it? And the person on the other side is able to go, yeah, let's have a conversation about this. And you're able to have a hard conversation, in a connected way. This one wants to attack everything. She wants to destroy the beauty. You're able to have a hard conversation in a connected way, because if you can't have a hard conversation in a connected way, you're creating disconnection. And beauty is connection. Beauty is joy. Beauty is showing up in the morning with your partner's favorite breakfast for no reason, bringing flowers for no reason, adorning your partner in their favorite things for no reason, believing in your partner, having respect for your partner, especially men. Men want to be respected, and women, we don't respect men. Now, you may want to say to me, well, I don't respect men because they've not shown me any reason to respect them. Sure, you can live your life that way. That's totally up to you. Like, fully. You can run around the world that way and see what it gets you. Look around the world. Is that helping us? It's not helping. It's not helpful. And you may want to fight with me about it. You may be like, well, men do this and men do that. And sure. Why do they do it? What's the root? Not feeling seen, heard, guided, validated, respected, believed in. Do you believe in your man, or do you just criticize him? When it comes to men, do you adorn your woman, or do you take her for granted? Do you adorn yourself? These are all examples of beauty. There's nothing beautiful about criticizing someone. There's nothing beautiful about talking shit about someone. There's nothing beautiful about not believing in someone's growth. And beauty is medicine. When we are able to look at our partner, at our friends, at the people in the world and go, I believe in you. When we're able to trust another person's journey, even if it means that we lose them for a little while. If we can honor their need for freedom, their need for their process, their need to go do what they need to do, that's beauty. It makes me teary because I am someone who does that. And as a result, there have been people who I've lost and then people who come back, and they're so grateful that I don't try to grasp onto them or guilt them into feeling like they have to show up a certain way or be a certain person or be ready for something that they're not ready for, but purely to be able to go, do you, do what you need to do, be who you need to be, because no one can really be helpful or useful or supportive of each other if we're not allowing each other to be who we need to be, who we need to be. We're attachment-based creatures. We're going to hold on. We're going to grip tightly. It's going to feel really scary when dynamics shift, when relationships shift, when patterning in our own being shifts, right? And embodying a new way of being is going to ask you to release the old way of being. And when you do that, you may lose people. If you actually show up as the full new embodied version of you, not just performatively, not just for show, but like actually show up as that version of you, you may lose people. It will be scary. And if we're actually going to create a new world and we're going to shift how we're relating to ourselves, to each other, to the earth, we're going to have to let go of all of the old conditioned ways of being. And here's the thing. Working with me, initially, you're going to feel like, fuck, Yarrow, do I do anything right? The question will be no. And we all have to go through this. I'm not exempt from this because we have been conditioned to operate through scarcity, survival, contraction, projection, blame, ego, persona. And so peeling all of that back, guess what that means? You're going to become a new person, which means you're going to have to let go of the version of you were holding on to in your brain, which means you're going to have to allow yourself to relate more through beauty and ease and abundance and truth and connection. And that means you're going to be wrong a fucking shit ton until you can actually get to this space. And if you can do that without making it mean something about you, you're going to be a lot happier in your life. Because when my clients make it mean something about them and they get defensive and they contract and they want to make me wrong, it just inhibits their growth. Now, does this mean I'm never wrong? No, of course I'm wrong sometimes. I'm a human. It's pretty rare. And I'm not saying that in any sort of arrogant way. I'm saying that because I had 26 years of trial by fire of being really fucking wrong all the time so that I could alchemize and learn to be an effective guide and tap into the energetic vibration of truth. Now, does it mean I'm never wrong? No, obviously, I'm a human. I have situations in my life where I am wrong and I apologize. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm sorry I was a dick. I'm sorry I was acting like a tyrant. I laugh because these are my things. I'm an Aquarius. We have a low tolerance sometimes. And we're just like, this is how it is. And sometimes that's not acceptable. And I have to pull it back and be like, my Aquarian tyranny is coming forward, and I need to tap into my Libra moon, which is all about beauty and harmony and justice and connection and unity, which is where, when you work with me on relationships, I'm going to see the energetics of all the sides and I'm going to help you create connection. I'm going to help you all see each other's perspectives, peel back the unhelpful perspectives, help you feel seen and understood and held, help you feel safe to be the leading energy without making yourself wrong for having to be the leading energy, meaning you don't have to carry the burden of, oh, it's all my responsibility. That's pity. That's you wanting somebody to feel sorry for you. That's not the vibe. When you're leading from your frequency, you feel free. And when you feel free, you feel able to thread beauty through the world. And so I want you to really sit with, what does it actually mean for you to thread beauty into your relationships? Because I can give all kinds of examples, but just sit with it for a minute. And the reality is you're going to have to look at, where am I functioning through scarcity, survival, contraction, shoulds? Where am I attached? Like gripping tight. One of my favorite examples of this is like the texting thing. Oh, he has to text me every morning. And if he doesn't text me back within this certain amount of time, then it's over. I'm blocking him. Are you fucking kidding me? We're not meant to have these goddamn devices chained at our hip at all times. It's actually super dysfunctional, sucks the eros out of relationships, and makes you not want to fuck your partner because you're so attached to each other at all times. You're not meant to be like a succubus on each other. You're just not. Like, there is meant. Ooh, she gets so wild. We're meant to have eros and mystery and play and connection. And sometimes we need some space for that. So if you can't allow for space for that, that's your attachment wound that's gripping tight and sucking the joy out of life and making people feel like, oh, if I don't respond, she's going to get upset. I see this trend lately with women and men where it's like, he did this for me and he did that for me and he's such a good husband or boyfriend because he does all these things. Sure, that might be very kind and it might be very sweet. But you know what our relationships are supposed to do? Transform us. And so if we're not being rocked to our core into transformation so that we actually can love through freedom, we're just holding on to this illusion of what we think we're supposed to do and how it's supposed to look in this illusion of healthy. That is a whole other video. For this moment, I want you to really sit with how you're threading beauty through your relationships. And so much of beauty is, can you give space for breath and freedom? Can you calm yourself enough to be connected in the present moment, to really listen to your partner, to really hear them, to be with them, to hold them, and to hold them to their divinity, which means sometimes saying, hey, you're fucking full of shit. What are you doing? This morning, I had to do that with someone very close to me. I was like, you're being bullshitty. You told me this is what you need to do. Now you're justifying it. Now you're making excuses. This is what you need to do. Here's the mirror. Here's the mirror, do the thing. And she was so grateful that I did. But that's going to feel activating sometimes, and you're going to fear loss. And so you're going to want to placate or enable, or you'll be like, oh, if they shine as their best selves, then are they going to still love me? You won't think that consciously, but unconsciously you will. And one of the most beautiful things you can do in your relationships is hold someone to their divinity, give space for freedom so that you can all be your most brilliant, shiny, expansive, powerful, magnetic selves. So, if you want to dive deeper into this, join me in the December portal, which the theme is the Relationships Reimagined. You can join for 6 months or 12 months. It's $333 per month. We have 3 live calls. We have a Telegram channel that I drop riffs, activations, meditations, various different information into Monday through Friday. We have a drop the questions channel in Telegram as well, so I will personalize your questions. We have a glimmers channel. We have a community of humans who are doing this work together, which we can't do this alone. We're meant to have mentorship. We're meant to have guidance. We're meant to be in spaces where we are connecting and transforming together, where we're held to our divinity, where we're weaving the sacred and we're weaving beauty into our lives, because we are not taught how to do this and we have a lot of deconditioning to do. So this feels interesting for you. Send me a message on Instagram, YarOK on Instagram. You can drop a comment below. You can find me through Carrier Pigeon. Tinkerbell would be happy to bite my little leg so that to get my attention, to get your needs met. All right, let me know. I'm here. Thread beauty through your relationships. How might you do that today? What do you need to do to feel anchored and in the present moment enough to thread beauty through your life and through your relationships?